Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Servant to the Spidae by Ruby Dixon, narrated by Jair Bush. 1. Eulena. I'll do it. I say the words before I even know what I'm thinking. It's partially to stop Faith from arguing with the terrifying fates, the Spidae, and partially because I see a path to safety ahead of me. As a bed slave, you learn to judge the world a little differently than most. You gauge every action by whether or not it will further your need for safety and protection. I've served in brothels, and I've served fancy lords in the past, and I definitely know which one I prefer. Aaron of the Cleaver, the butcher god of storms, was my protector for a time, but now he has Faith, and anyone can see that he'll never have use for someone like me again. I need a new master, one with enough power so that I'll never have to be on my knees in a brothel ever again. And even though the Spidae terrify me, it's the perfect solution. The two Spidae in the room arguing with Faith fix their gazes on me. It's like they're seeing me for the first time. I get that a lot around Faith. I've always been considered a very beautiful, desirable slave, but Faith has a brash, magnetic sort of personality that draws everyone in and makes them like her despite her crude words. Maybe it's that she's Aaron's anchor, but there's an otherworldly sort of appeal to her that makes me invisible at her side. Now that I've spoken up, though, I am invisible no longer. The Spidae with pale eyes narrows his gaze at me, not moving, but I feel dissected from the inside out. An interesting thread, he murmurs. I see it now, his brother says, the one with vivid blue eyes. Very interesting. I don't know if this is good or bad, but they're looking at me now instead of Faith. They're judging whether or not I'd be a good toy for them. And if it's one thing I've learned, it's how to be the best kind of toy. So I lift my chin and give them both my best smile, one that gives just a hint of sultry teasing. I stand up straighter, knowing that my breasts will be prominent, and when I shift my hands on my skirts, I deliberately smooth the fabric so it emphasizes my small waist. I will serve the gods. Wait, Eulena, no, you don't have to do this. Faith frowns at me, stepping in front of me and grabbing me by the shoulders. She pulls me away from the two Spidae, who are watching me now with avaricious expressions that tell me I'd be serving in their beds before dark if they agree to take me on. I can handle it. But Faith looks miserable at the thought, as if it's somehow her being roped into servitude. It's both awfully sweet of her and awfully frustrating. She truly has no idea what kind of position I'm in. I know. You really want to serve them? An anchor has to go willingly, she asks, her voice frantic. There's a movement behind her. A third Spidae enters the room, standing near his brothers. It's like they've all come to look at me and decide if they want me or not. He's got the same blank eyes his brothers do, maybe even more so. His eyes are shockingly dark in his pale face, like two pits, and it's jarring to look at, just like the hungry expression he wears. They're terrifying altogether, all three of them, and I wonder if I'm going to have to bed them all three at the same time, or if they'll simply take turns. I decide it doesn't matter. Serving a god, a trio of gods, would be the safest, most prestigious sort of servitude I could ask for. Even if they send me away, I'll be a woman who served gods. I'll never see a whorehouse again. It's absolutely a gamble I'm willing to make. Faith notices the third Spidae enter, and I could swear she shudders. You want to stay here? Really? Do I? She still doesn't get it. I'm bargaining for my future, but Faith has always been privileged with being Aaron's anchor. I smile bravely at her, confessing the truth. Not really. I'm kind of scared, actually. But if you can learn a new world, so can I. Elena, no! This is different. One of the Spidae is suddenly at my side. It's the one with pale eyes, the one who watches me with such fierce intensity, it's as if he's trying to read my thoughts. He reaches out with one pale, long-fingered hand and touches my braid, stroking my hair. He's so close that he smells like cobwebs and dust, and I don't know what to make of that. "You would serve us in all ways?" he asks. "The three of us?" I nod. "Time out," Faith bellows, gesturing with her hands. "No, absolutely not. Elena, you're not a whore any longer, okay? You don't have to do anything like this." I shake my head, trying to look over at Faith, even as the god plays with my hair, his fingers tracing over the ribbon I laced into my dark hair this morning. I always look as good as I can because my value is in my appearance. I dress each morning knowing that Aaron has forgotten about me, so I have to charm Solat or Marcos or even the quiet Karen into falling for me. If I'm married, after all, I don't have to return to the slave yards. I deliberately wove that ribbon into my hair this morning because Solat said red looked good on me. I wonder if the Spidae knows the meaning behind it as he fiddles with my dark braid. He leans in, and I could swear he sniffs my hair. Goosebumps prickle over my skin, but I'm resolute. This is the best path for me. Like Faith, if I'm an anchor to a god, even a terrifying trio of gods, I'm safe from a life of drudgery. And best of all, if I'm serving fate, I won't meet the same terrible end that most anchors do. "I want to do this, Faith," I tell her. She needs to understand. I meet her gaze, trying my best to ignore the god that hovers over me and strokes my hair so unnervingly. Here, I have a purpose. I can serve the gods. Once we leave this tower, I'm just an unnecessary whore for a god who is in love with his anchor. I cannot fight in Aaron's army. How long do you think he will keep me around? From the look of despair in Faith's eyes, I can tell she's starting to get it. She looks ready to cry. "You're my friend. Aaron would keep you as long as I want. You've been good to me and to him." That's sweet of her, but friendship can only carry someone so far. I reach out and squeeze her hand, comforting her. "You have been my friend too. Thank you for making me feel like you're equal in all ways. But now I must find my own path." She looks stricken, and I find it ironic that I'm comforting her even as I'm making the biggest decision of my life. Even now, my purpose seems to be to serve others. I bite back the stab of resentment that shoots through me because Faith has been kind. She could have ordered me killed or sold off, but instead she's befriended me. It's not her fault that Aaron fell in love with her. It's not her fault that I'm simply looking to secure my future. So I give her hand a little shake. "I can see the guilt on your face. Don't. I'm choosing this, just as you choose to be with Aaron." And I don't know if I'm convincing her or myself, because the reality is that I'm utterly terrified, as much as I am resolute. I know this is the best path for me. A pretty face and a willing mouth only gets one so far, and both grow less appealing with age. This is an opportunity not to be squandered. Behind Faith, one of the Spidae extends his hand out to me in a silent invitation. The blue-eyed one. The dark-eyed one watches with a hungry, yearning sort of look, but he does not move, his hands tucked into his long sleeves. The other brother, the pale-eyed one, continues to toy with my braid, standing over me. I want to shout at him to step away, but one doesn't shout at the gods. And if I go into this, I belong to him. "If you're sure," Faith begins. I'm sure, I say, my voice quavering. Am I trying to convince myself or her? But I take the pale hand extended out to me and step forward. The god's grip is feverishly warm, but he clasps my hand in his, and it doesn't feel so terrible. We look like a study of contrast, he and I, me with dark, sun-warmed skin and chilled fingers, and him with burning skin and ice-cold looks. I say nothing as he draws me forward, and then all three surround me. I step forward into my new life. 2. The tower swirls around me in a haze of mist, and my eyes unfocus. When they focus again, I'm in an entirely different place, a room covered in spider webs, but no door. There's no window, either. It's just shadowy and cool and remote. A hint of terror curls in my belly. The Spidae are still looming over me, the one toying with my braid as the others hover far too close. The third one is behind me somewhere, but he's not touching me, and for that I'm absurdly grateful. I can't breathe. It's too much too quick, and the fear I've been fighting burst into full-blown panic. I need to say goodbye, I blurt out. My thoughts have been clouded and frantic with anxiety that I didn't realize until just now that I've forgotten to say my goodbyes to the others. You didn't give me a chance. The god playing with my braid pulls the ribbon free, loosening my hair. Your life with them is over. You belong to us now. Of course I do. All my life, I've been traded as a commodity. I know how to cope with such sudden changes, too. I push aside my feelings, ingratiate myself with my new master, and handle it as best I can. But this isn't one new master, it's 3. And it isn't a regular sort of slaver or a brothel owner who now controls my life. It's a trio of gods. I swallow hard, calming myself. They won't ask for anything I haven't given a dozen times over. All men and women are the same when it comes down to reality. They want some touching and praise. They want to be made to feel powerful. I can give them those things. It's just, I think of Faith and her acerbic comments to Aaron, who greets them with amusement instead of anger. I think of her kindness to me. She could have sent me away a dozen times over in a fit of jealousy. I think of Aaron, who isn't exactly kind, but who looked after me. He is a god as well. He deserves a goodbye and my thanks. I think of Marcos, who treated me like a lady even when he knew I was just a bed slave. And I think of Solat, who has shining eyes and gentle hands, and has shared my bed recently, because I think I could get him to propose marriage to me and save me from a hellish future. At the very least, I would like to let them know that they have been friends to me. I would like to say goodbye if it's not too much trouble, I say again, keeping my voice as gentle and sweet as possible. Please, it would mean a lot to me. The hand petting my hair twists into it, and he forcibly turns me to look at him. Those 2 pale eyes devour my face, and he looks furious. Do you want to continue on Aaron's quest, or do you want to serve us? You cannot have both, female. Make your choice. Something shrivels inside me at his rage. Already I've made him furious. I want to serve you. I do. I'm sorry. The blue-eyed one pushes his brother away. Do not be jealous over her human lover, brother. That one has no future. Did I think it was possible to get even more freaked out? What do you mean, no future? Blue Eyes turns to me, holding out his hand. I will show you if you wish, but you will not like it. Now, will you be our anchor, or must we search the threads for a more suitable candidate? Behind him, the gray-eyed one gives me an icy look, while the other with the creepy dark eyes just watches. I'm dizzy with everything that's happening. It hasn't even been 5 minutes, and my life has been upended. Do I serve these possessive, jealous gods, or do I continue on with faith in Aaron and the others? Solad has no future. If fate is telling me that, it means he will die soon. And while part of me cries out in despair, the larger part of me, the survival instinct, knows that it's just another path that I don't get to take. The way ahead is with these gods and the safety they offer. Licking my lips, I take the hand extended out to me. "I'm sorry," I whisper. "I do want to be your anchor. This is just a lot of change. It takes a moment for me to work through it." He nods, and his hand is hot against mine. "If you tie yourself to us, know that this will be your home forevermore. We do not leave the confines of this tower. We also do not share. Is this understood?" He's telling me that they live in the lonely isolation here and that they're possessive, but I've figured that out already. Is he trying to scare me away? "I understand. I'll be yours." Something hot crackles between our touch, and immediately my knees go weak. His hand tightens on mine, and even as I sag in front of him, boneless and devoid of strength, he continues to clutch my hand. "What does it feel like?" the gray-eyed one hisses to his brother. "Pleasant," says the other god, and he sounds surprised, as if this didn't occur to him. "Like one thread is dedicated solely to you." "Let me touch her," the gray-eyed one insists. The god with the blue eyes releases my hand, and I collapse to the floor. Faith mentioned once that when she first touched hands with Aaron, it felt like being struck by lightning. This isn't quite the same, but it feels intense and unsettling, like a heavy cloak is cast over me, draining my energy. It takes me a moment to realize I'm on my hands and knees in front of the three of them, weak and heaving. When I look up, the gray-eyed one thrusts his hand out to me, almost as if in a challenge. Somehow, I know I have to touch each of them for this bond to work. I thought they were all the same, but the longer I'm around them, the less I think that is the case. So, I somehow get to my feet again and stand straight, my hair sliding over my shoulders, unbound. I swallow hard and meet the silver gaze of the impatient, jealous one and put my hand in his. This time, his hand feels both hot and cold, like frost on fire. I shiver, waiting for the drain of energy, but it doesn't come. Instead, that strange something ripples all through me and finally stills. Is all he says to his brothers, his gaze thoughtful as he watches me. I slide my hand out of his and turn to the third brother, the one with the hollow, too dark eyes. Of the three, he's the most remote, and I extend my hand out to him. His nostrils flare, and he gazes down at my palm with something like distaste. The god takes a deep breath, then grips my hand. His touch is like ice. To my surprise, the god moans unpleasantly. He immediately shakes my hand off, clenching and unclenching his fingers as if my touch has pained him. He withdraws a step or two behind his brothers and won't look at me anymore. That was unexpected. "You are ours now," the gray-eyed one tells me, and his expression is one of triumph. "You will serve as our human anchor." I nod, rattled, but I know my duties. "I am happy to serve, my lord." "How long will you need?" Gray Eyes asks immediately. I know exactly what he's referring to. He wants me to serve him sexually, to give myself to him. I knew this was part of the deal, but the fact that he's asking instead of demanding that I get on my knees tells me that I have a little opportunity here. Hunger rumbles in my gut. I would like a bath and a meal first, I say. Humans are fragile, and I would go to you with my full strength. He grunts. I will return later, then. In a swirl of robes, he turns on his heel and melds into the spider webs covering the walls. I blink in surprise, not entirely sure I didn't imagine that, and when I look over, the other two gods are gone as well. I'm alone in this windowless, horrid room. Somewhere close by, I hear the sound of water turn on, likely a tub being filled. A knot forms in my throat, and I think of Solat and Faith and Aaron's easy relationship. I don't know what I expected, but this isn't it. I feel more like an object of curiosity than a person with feelings, and I wonder if I've made a mistake. I think of Solat, and tears clog my throat. It's not that I'm in love with him. He was a good friend to me, and I wish I could tell him to be careful, that he might die. I wish that I had a window to the outside. I swallow back my tears, because there's no point in crying. I'm used to slavery and servitude. This is no different than any other master, except now I serve the gods. There is honor in that, and I need to embrace it. So I push away my emotions, calm myself, and slip off my dress to go bathe. 3. It seems even in a bath, I don't have the opportunity to be alone. I lounge in the large, sunken marble tub, strange that a god would need one, but I'll take it, and stare off into the distance. I'm trying to mentally grasp everything that's happened. I'm an anchor now, like Faith. Unlike Faith, I feel completely and utterly out of control, and I'm wondering if I've made a mistake. Aaron at least acts somewhat human. These three gods are terrifying in their strangeness. I can't help but think of how I touched the one's hand, and he made a sound of pain, and backed away as if touching me was revolting. Does that mean I am only serving two out of the three gods? I don't know, and I feel like there's no way to get answers. I feel lost. It's usually fairly obvious what a new master wants from me. This feels a bit out of my depth, though. So I sit in the tub until the water grows tepid and my fingers shrivel, my hair piled up atop my head so it doesn't get wet. I sit and I deal with my grief that I won't ever see the outside world again, grief that I've left everything I know in exchange for safety and the honor of serving gods. I push the grief back down because it serves no purpose, and focus on calming myself instead. As I do, I get the vague sensation that I'm being watched. I eye the walls around me, but I don't see any of the strange spiders creeping amongst the webs. I can't get over the feeling that someone's watching me, though. When I don't see anyone in the shadowy bathing room, though, I decide to take a chance. Their fate, after all. Do they need to be present to watch me? What is it they see when they look at me, I wonder? I know I am beautiful, with dark skin and dark eyes, full breasts and a rounded, enticing arse. My cheekbones are high, my chin pointed, and I have had poets exclaim over my graceful neck and shoulders. My hair is long and thick, and I take great care to keep it shiny and curling, even though it takes a lot of time to tend to my mane. My eyebrows are perfectly shaped, and my skin is supple and blemish-free. Appearances are important for one in my position, and I've always done my best to ensure I am as appealing as possible. But do these gods even like dark skin and thick hair? Do they notice such things at all? Or am I just as strangely unappealing to them as their ghastly paleness is to me? You can show yourself, I call out, my curiosity getting the better of me. I'm not offended if you want to come and look. In a strange way, I'd be relieved. Being watched in my bath is familiar territory. The webs part, and one of the Spidae materializes. It's like he appeared out of thin air, the webs molding to create the man who steps forward. I immediately search his gaze. Blue eyes. In a way, I'm relieved. He seems the most rational of the triad, though I think the gray-eyed one takes the lead over the others. He approaches in a way that is almost hesitant, as if he's not certain he should be here. I give him an encouraging smile, patting the edge of the tub. "Did you wish to see what I look like naked?" I guess, trying to determine his thoughts. In a way, his mannerisms remind me of a master I once had, a virgin lordling who was uncertain in the bedroom due to his inexperience. "You have but to ask, and I'm happy to let you look your fill." "I know what you look like," he says. "I have seen the entirety of your thread." I flinch at that. Of course. I'm still thinking that he's human in any way. That's my first mistake. I did not mean to presume. "I am curious, though. Most females who are watched in a bath by an unknown male scream or are terrified. You show no fear, yet you did not know I was watching. Why is that?" He tilts his head, the movement jarring and inhuman in its jerky rapidity. "Well," I say, sitting up in the water enough that my breasts rise from beneath the surface. His gaze goes there automatically, and that's a very human reaction. I remember suddenly that they need an anchor because they lack humanity. They look human, they sound human, but in certain areas they are clearly not human. Perhaps the bulk of my job will be to educate. Unlike a lot of women, I have lived in servitude all my life. My body has been traded many times, and I have no shame of nudity. There is nothing I have that belongs to me, even now. The Spidae's head tilts again, his expression quizzical. He stands perfectly straight, his shoulders tense and his hands clasped behind his back as his long robes flow around his body. "You do not belong to yourself?" "I am your anchor," I reply. "Yes, but it is not slavery." "Isn't it?" I offer him a smile to take the sting out of my words, drawing my knees up and hugging them. "I am yours now, to serve you in all ways. You'll forgive me if I don't see how that is all that different from slavery." I gesture at my surroundings. I have been taken away from my friends and told my life will start over now. This has happened to me a great many times, each time I was sold to a new master. "But you volunteered for this," the Spidae says, his voice stiff. "Thus, it is not slavery." "Servitude, then," I correct, resting my arms on my knees. "But you have seen my thread. Did you think I have a great many choices ahead of me?" "I cannot see the future," he says. "My domain is the past." "Ah." I pause because this doesn't make sense to me. "Then how did you know about Solat's future?" "My brother," he says, as if that explains everything. It doesn't. It only leaves me with more questions, but it's clear this man, God, doesn't know how to answer them. It's another thing we'll have to work on, I guess. Patience, Ulena, I remind myself. They have been gods for all eternity. It will take time for us to figure each other out. I open my mouth to ask another question, and my stomach lets out a loud growl. The Spidae blinks, his head cocking like a dog's. "That embarrasses you." I grimace. "A little, yes." "You are hungry." When I nod, he continues, "Why do you not eat?" As if I've had a chance. It's been a whirlwind ever since the Spidae arrived in Faith's quarters and declared they needed an anchor of their own. I don't think my head has stopped spinning for a single moment, even though I know I've sat in this bed.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?